All right, so 1 month review of my E90 M3. I'll hit on number one, like what's it like going back to a 10-year-old car? And number two, am I happy with the decision? And really that's it. So what's it like going back to a 10-year-old car? I mean, it's not as new and refined as obviously a brand new M3, especially the new model. And I'm not doing a comparison of which one's better or worse, just they're different, right? I mean, the first thing is from the exterior, the design is not as extreme as the new ones, obviously. And that can be pro or con based on what you're looking for, especially in white. I mean, it's kind of interesting. I still get some beeps and honks and thumbs up, which is kind of very cool. I didn't really expect that, to be honest, with a, kind of an older M car. But, people who know what it is, they still recognize it and kind of appreciate it for what it is. I'm really glad I went with the sedan. I had a coupe, I kind of bit the bullet and came across a sedan that was spec'd really nice and low miles, etc. So I jumped on it and I'm glad I did. The sedan is technically actually shorter than the coupe, if you can believe that, even though it has 4 doors. So, maybe you don't see it in the video as much, but in person it has like a nice kind of bulldog chunky presence to it, but without a lot of the extra flair. Kind of been debating if I want to put it like, a carbon fiber lip on the front or things on the rear, diffuser. Initially I was going to add all that stuff, but I've actually decided to back off and kind of leave it more stock looking. I like the the ZCP or the competition package. You could see like the rear kind of has like a lowered look to it already with the wider wheels and kind of that classic M3 competition shape. So other than like some very small cosmetic tweaks, like just updating the front grills to black, which is, if you want to go back to stock, you can easily do that. It literally takes 10 minutes to swap them out. I was initially going to do diffuser on the front, the little guys that fit in here, these kind of lip, not a full lip, but the small carbon fiber pieces that go in here. But I have them. I've kind of held off on installing them because, again, I may leave it with just more of a stock look. Keeping the wheels silver for sure, kind of fits the classic ZCP look on this generation M car. And that's that. In terms of driving, it's not as refined as a brand new M car. And what I mean by that is a couple things. The main one's the transmission. This has the dual clutch, the DCT. And the DCT is, it's certainly more refined than the first generation SMG. However, this could be pro or con depending on your perspective. You could say the charm of it is kind of the delayed shifts, a little bit of like the clunkiness at slower speeds. But of course, you could also say that's the charm and that's what you like, because like I personally do not want an automatic in an M car ever. And so that's kind of this era. And it's a bit older, it's a bit more engaging, it's a little rough around the edges to some extent, and that's the charm of it. That's why you buy this car. And so I've kind of gotten used to that a little bit. I don't daily drive the car. I don't drive in traffic every day and on the highway and stuff like that. So it actually works completely fine for me. And I really like it in terms of kind of the character. I did a tune on the DCT, which kind of smoothed out a lot of the edges. And that was definitely a good move and money well spent. The tech is old. There's no CarPlay, which, is what it is. But you kind of get used to plugging the USB cable into your iPhone like 10 years ago, and and everything works. So fine with that. And not really doing too much on the interior. I do have a new steering wheel I'm going to put on. It's pretty close to this one. I just wanted to refresh it. It has a flat bottom, but it's the same thickness, nothing too over the top. So it actually gives it kind of like an updated OEM look. And, the Fox Red is in great condition. It's extended and it's really, it's a gorgeous interior. So not really changing a lot there. So overall, am I happy that I made the move? Absolutely. I had a coupe that I just bought. I'm like, am I going to jump into a sedan right away? And I came across this one, made the move, and I'm glad I did. Having 4 doors is certainly a plus, especially just, you know, kids, family, whichever, and then you don't really lose anything by having the sedan. You could go back and forth all day, coupe for sedan, which looks better. I'm definitely not going to have that argument here. But for my needs, initial reaction, glad to be back in it. You know, a little rough around the edges, but I like it. That's the charm. The tune kind of took care of the things that I wasn't a fan of. So net, happy with that. And then, you know, I plan to keep it a long time. So I'm kind of doing small things to the car just as I go along, and then we'll go from there.